Welcome everybody back to the final day 4 of the Somewhere Over the Rainbow free training. This was in honor of our dear friend and educator, Forrest Kinney. And this was the first in a series of dedications I'm doing for him. So this week we learned all about Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and then next weekend we have an event called Piano Connect. So if anyone is interested, please look at pianoconnect.org. And we've assembled an amazing group of educators that you got to work with this week, in addition to Tim Topham and Dennis Alexander and Samantha Coates, Bradley Soash. So it's going to be super fun with lots of just creative tips, such as the ones that you're learning this week. And there's even a cooking demonstration, which is exciting. I'm excited for that. And there's a big batch of recipes that a blogger has compiled just for Piano Connect, and we're all going to cook the same things at the same time for whoever wants to do that. And there's concerts every night, so it's a big event. And there's one of the concerts is Forrest's really good friend that he had growing up, and that's a free concert to everybody on Sunday. So stay tuned for all of that info. And thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed Jeremy Siskin yesterday. What a treat that was. He is a true genius, and he was so generous with all of his knowledge and went on for 30 minutes, and he gave so many great tips. So I hope that it was helpful for you. So today I'm just going to show you a few last ideas that you can try out. And the first one is inspired by Jeremy. So this is the introduction. So I loved his idea. This is so simple. To just go, can you see my hand with my name? Can you see those keys? Or I'll do the bigger view. Let's see here. Can everybody see that all right? Great. Okay. So he said, just take the melody. We're going to play just the opening 4 bars. Play it high up. Put the pedal down. And just play a third below it. So that would sound like so it's very Debussy-like. You can just do all white keys. I think it sounds fine to keep the F during that E minor chord. So you can do that, or you can take yes, there's a replay of Jeremy's. I sent it out to everybody, and it's in my Piano Flow Facebook group, but I will definitely get that to you. So the other thing you can try is Lila Viss's idea of taking the introduction, or taking that first phrase and would make it into an introduction but end on the dominant instead of the tonic. So instead of ending on E and G at the end, which would be part of a C major chord, just go up to G and B, which makes it end on the dominant. So that would sound like this. So it's a beautiful introduction. So can everyone try that quickly? And let me know if you have any questions. That one's very simple. Just really imagine that Clair de Lune example that he played. It should sound very dreamy, open, spacious. You can even try it even higher. All right, so that one should be very straightforward. Okay, now let's look at a beautiful ending. So this is, again, taken from Lila Viss's handout. And I'm using the 4th example that she gave because we want to honor Forrest Kinney. So we're going to use what he did in his recording. And Jeremy also showed it too, which was interesting. So it's just taking that B section and hanging fourths under it. And then or actually you just stay on the C chord. So here's the ending you can try. again, you're going to play it nice and high. So you play a fourth on D and G, and then B and E. So you're just taking that melody and putting a fourth below the melody. That's it. So just those two intervals. And then in your left hand, you just do some sort of C and G, just the, the fifth on the C. And then maybe you can go higher like Leela has in her handout. Up to you if you want to take it higher at the end. So she had it ending on the D and G. And you can keep the left hand really calm. Or you can keep the left hand more active. Up to you. So you can have long held notes or play all eighth notes. So I'm just alternating. Okay, can everyone give that a quick try? And again, let me know if you have questions. So that is on Leela's handout. It's the end of the fourth example. All right, everyone ready to move on? Okay. The next thing are a few little bass patterns that are really helpful to know. So take these for any lead sheet that you're experimenting with. So you can take the root, the fifth, and then the ninth. So the ninth sounds scary if you're not familiar with it, but it's just one higher than the root. It's just like the second. So if you're on a C chord, it's going to be the D. If you're on an F chord, the ninth would be the G. So just one higher than your root. Then your A. Just on that E minor, we want to have the F sharp. So I was just hanging some sixths underneath and doing that beautiful bass pattern. So doing root, fifth, ninth, and then another option is the root, fifth, and then just go one higher to the 10th. So it's just the triad, and you're putting the third at the top. Okay, so you have the fifth, and then that third goes in the middle, or sorry, at the top. And it creates a 10th. Okay, so you could do any of the beautiful chords that we did before. Etc. Okay, so play around with that. You can try some of the chords that we did before, or you can do the melody only, or just a sixth. Whatever feels easiest to you, and try those two different bass patterns. And you can mix them up. Maybe sometimes you go to the 9th, sometimes you go to the 10th. Sometimes you just go up to the root. right, so now let's move to the B section, unless anyone has a question. So in the B, it's similar to what we did with forests ending, and this is what Jeremy suggested yesterday. So in the B section, you can hang the fourths underneath. So the rest is the same, but just hanging the fourths under that. So you can do that same left-hand pattern as before. Or you can be, I love when Jeremy said it kind of bubbles up and gets exciting. So if you want it to sound more bubbly, you can add more of the rocking bass. You can take it higher. So that is a way to really make it simmer, to use Jeremy's words. Okay, so everyone give that a quick try. So just hanging fourths underneath the melody and try rocking the bass back and forth. And maybe experiment going a little bit higher. How's everyone doing? Were you able to try it? Good. All right, so I'll play the whole thing, just using different concepts that we talked about throughout the week, and then I want you to try whatever comes out to you. So you could try, maybe you want to play with the timing and make it really spacious and slow. Or maybe you want to try all those chords that we were doing. Or one of the patterns. Or maybe you want to add some of the half steps. Okay, so just do it, whatever comes out now that we've worked all of these things in. And if they don't feel natural, then you practice each concept on its own, and then eventually it will feel more natural. Okay, so let's see here. right, your turn. So I didn't have that planned. I just did whatever I felt like. So can everyone just try it on your own? You're on mute. Don't worry. Nobody can. Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Nico. So no one can hear what you're doing. You're in the privacy of your own space, and just try some little experimenting. See what comes out. Go over the last hand, 10th pattern. Yes, it's just the root note of the chord. So let's say you're in a C chord. That would be a C. And then the fifth is would be the G. And then the 10th is the third of the chord. So 2 higher than the root. So if you think of a C triad, C major, you take the middle note out and put it on the top. And it's a great exercise to go through the whole piece like that. So you have the root of A minor, and the fifth is the E, and the third is C. So like picture your minor triad and then put it on the middle note on top. Root, fifth, 10th, then how did you come back down? I did not come back down, I just went up. Sorry. So it's only an ascending pattern. And then if you have more time, like if you look at measure 4, there's a whole note. So you could fill it in more. Start at the same, and then go somewhere else. Lots of options to fill that out. Did everyone have a chance to try the whole thing? Any other questions? How'd you do, Anne?
It was fun. It was really fun. Smokey, I did
Good. Thank you. I'm curious for everybody, what was your most favorite takeaway that you learned from the week? There were so many concepts. You know, maybe there was probably 30. If you really counted like all the different ideas, there was probably at least 30, if maybe even 40, I'm not sure. But is there one that really stood out to you that you can just always remember and was the biggest takeaway for you? Does anybody have one?
I don't have one, but I have learned to be freer with what I'm playing. I mean, I didn't even know I could do it. I just sat down and played this like with all kinds of different things in it. And I was like, oh my gosh, look at what I'm doing, you know? And I just didn't think about it. I just let it flow.
Oh, I love it.
It was really cool.
I love it.
Yeah. So that, yeah. And I was just doing all different kinds of things. It was like, you know, it was crazy.
Amazing.
And believe me, I could not do that before.
Wow. Just 4 days, 15 minutes a day.
Yeah. Wow.
That's incredible. I love to hear that. My favorite thing you said is that you didn't even know you could do it. So there's so much we can do. Once you get some of those tools and some of the knowledge, it's amazing what we can do. I love it. Thank you for sharing that. Someone says the second inversion with the fourth added in the right hand. Which second inversion? Deborah. Oh, is this your biggest takeaway is the left hand patterns? Is that what you're saying?
This. That.
Oh, yeah.
That.
Right.
How's that?
Got it. The way of harmonizing the melody, those chords.
Yeah, harmonizing with those.
Got it. Yeah, that's a fun little trick. Dreamer says, is it second inversion with the sixth? When you're harmonizing the melody? I'm assuming that's what you're asking. It's a first. It actually works either way. I was playing around with it. You can either do a first inversion chord under the melody or a second inversion chord. So for instance, on the C melody, you can put it on, you can have E, A, C. Or you can do a first inversion chord with E, G, C, and they both work. So it's kind of interesting. You can go through the whole thing and do either of those inversions and then just add that middle note. So either inversion works. So that's a great question. I was going to work on that more today, but there's just not enough time. So many ideas, so much to say. But I do encourage you to try both of those inversions. I hope that made sense. You're keeping that same melody note. There's still a sixth. And you can try a first inversion triad or a second inversion triad. And then you can add that middle note in the middle to create that second. It gives it a new sound. Yeah. Beginning with that first inversion in the left hand was a new idea. A sixth with G and A. Yeah, exactly. A sixth with G and A in the middle. Great. All right, so I hope that was helpful, and I hope you just realize how much you can learn, as Patricia was saying, in such a short amount of time with some of the tools, and that we're not limited. It's really just all about the knowledge that you gain and the practice that you put into it. So I applaud everyone for attending. And I also teach an intensive called Piano Flow, if anyone wants to reach out to me about that. We meet weekly and work on improvisation and lead sheets and all sorts of things like similar to what we've been doing this week. And I look forward to seeing a lot of you at Piano Connect. It's going to be so fun next weekend. And if you're not joining us, maybe you can tune in for Kevin's concert on next Sunday, the 17th. So I will be in touch about that, and feel free to reach out at any time. And Nico, I will approve you for the Piano Flow Facebook group. Thanks for joining it. Thank you, Anne. You're so welcome. And thanks for a fun piano play group. Sheila, you are so welcome. Thank you for coming. And Dreama says, I appreciated having a short 15 minutes to play through ideas and explore and have fun with it. Yes. So much fun to just check in briefly and learn some new ideas. What a great lesson that is, that in just 15 minutes a day, we can get so much done. All right, so I hope everyone enjoyed that. I know I did, and can't wait to see some of you next weekend. Take care, everybody. Thanks for coming. You're welcome.
Bye.